Hey guys, it's Jules of WhatCulture.com here, and I want to talk to you today about Bobby Lashley. Or more specifically, about how the WWE have kind of dropped the ball with him at the moment. If you can cast your mind back, way back to March of this year, you'll remember the type of hype that this man was building. His return was met with fierce expectations. People even whispered that he could be the man to take down Brock Lesnar. After all, he had all of the qualities that you need to do that. He was in great shape, he'd achieved loads since he'd been away, and Vince McMahon still had a raging hard-on for him. But here, in the heady days of May 2018, he's kind of a laughingstock, isn't he? His debut appearance on Raw was inoffensive, but it definitely set the right tone. Bobby was back and he could deadlift the out of anyone. And then the mistakes appeared. When he was partnered with Braun Strowman, while the matches that he had were pretty high quality, there was a big glaring error. No one was paying attention to him. Braun Strowman was over like Rover, telling people to get these hands, and everyone was focused on him. That is not what you want for a returning superstar who has heat to spare. It kind of reminded you of way back when Lord Tensai debuted, remember that? And he unfortunately debuted back on the same night that Brock Lesnar returned, and therefore no one gave a about him. Then we have the greatest Royal Rumble, and I know this isn't like a canonically accepted sort of like storyline progressor, but it definitely is a showcase for people to come out there and display their talents. And what did Bobby do? He had two big botches, one with Big Cass and one with Elias. Luckily for him, Titus did steal a lot of the attention, but there was a definite amount of rust on a relatively new star. Realizing their mistake, the WWE creative team backtracked a little and did a nice vignette basically showing him as an accomplished world athlete. And then, thanks to Renee Young, we met Bobby Lashley, the man. This was an incredibly weird segment. In it, Bobby Lashley talked about his three sisters and how they'd effectively all tried to kill him. It didn't do anything for his character and confused so many that there was a definite question being asked, and that wasn't, what is Bobby Lashley going to do next? It was, what the is going on here? Is it that he was meant to be a survivor? Is it that he was meant to be a family man? Is it meant to be a thinly veiled attempt by the WWE to make you buy into the fact that he might be the next John Cena? Well, the last one's definitely true. Whatever the intent, it was enough for Sami Zayn to come to the ring and say that he was going to expose the truth behind Bobby Lashley. Okay. And what this meant for audiences was one of the least funny things the WWE has done in a long time. Sami brought out 3 independent wrestlers in drag to play Bobby's sisters, and this just f***ing sucked. This was an absolute vacuum of comedy, and the audience was dying quicker than Bobby Lashley's credibility for being tied to this segment. And this came to an end when Lashley enacted what could only be described as Three Stooges moment on the independent wrestlers. Eventually, the audience woke up and gave a bit of a cheer, but only because the fact that they knew the segment was ending. And we ended up asking ourselves, what did we actually learn about the man, Bobby Lashley? Absolutely nothing. Nor did we need to. We just needed him to come in, take names, kick asses, and, well, he did punch people in the head, but they were wearing a helmet. But do that, but without the helmet. What they needed to do was show him as a credible threat, not some sort of crappy clown. Now, Braun, he used comedy, but only when he was over with the fans. With that security, he was allowed to use his physicality for something lighter. And Lashley, as it stands in comparison, is completely aimless and is nowhere near looking at a title run. This segment stinks of Vince McMahon and his love for Big Bob, and his even greater love for absolute basement level values of comedy. I bet this whole segment with the Three Stooges probably had him pissing his pants. If the WWE were being honest, they'd admit that Bobby Lashley needs some incredible amount of work, which they are actively denying him. When you've got the likes of Seth Rollins going on a tear, Braun Strowman entertaining the masses, and Samoa Joe cutting the best promos I've heard in a long time, all you become aware of is the fact that Bobby Lashley has none of these qualities. And that's not entirely his fault. The botches are his own mistakes. But the positions he's been put in, they definitely aren't all him. He was literally riding high in April and has been shot down in May. And if things continue like this, I don't see him lasting the year. And you know what? Bobby isn't the only one. This sort of stuff doesn't bode well for Ronda Rousey if this is the type of that creative is shoveling. And let me tell you, the cracks are starting to appear on that surface as well. But that is the subject for another video. So there we go. Those are my thoughts on the WWE and Bobby Lashley. Let me know what you thought about them down in the comments section below, and then swing by whatculture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Gosh, can you believe that person said that about that particular video on that entry? I sure can't. But you should like, share, and subscribe below anyway. And also, the people who made this video, they're right here. Go follow them and give them some love. Also, there's more content, probably above my head. Check it out. Or don't. 50-50.